Today, we're diving deep into the current situation at Manchester City. What exactly is going on? In this video, we'll explore the reasons why Pep Guardiola's team has hit such a rough patch and is struggling to produce the results we're used to seeing from them. But before we jump in, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. Now, let's get into the video. For the first time since April 2018, Manchester City has lost 3 consecutive matches. To some fans, this may seem routine, while to others, it feels catastrophic, almost as if a meteor has struck the heart of the Etihad Stadium. These defeats weren't minor setbacks, they carry substantial implications for City's season. The 2-1 defeat to Tottenham in the English League Cup might have been somewhat welcomed, considering Manchester City's crowd and his teams. He orchestrates play from deep, initiating attacks and breaking up opposing plays with precision. Without him, Guardiola has to rely on alternatives, none of which replicate Rodri's level of control, game reading, and consistency. Rodri's contribution isn't just limited to defensive stability, he is also crucial in City's offensive setup, distributing progressive passes and breaking the lines with his vision. This loss disrupts the fluidity of City's entire system, leaving a substantial gap in their style of play. 3. Ilkay Gundogan's underwhelming form. One of the biggest disappointments in filling the void left by Rodri has been Ilkay Gundogan. Gundogan, who was a vital part of City's recent success and Guardiola's first signing when he joined the club, has struggled to find his rhythm this season. After returning from Dortmund with an injury, Gundogan has only shown glimpses of his former self, and this inconsistency has led to questions about his ability to meet City's demanding standards. In the loss to Sporting, his impact was minimal, contributing to an overall sense of imbalance in the midfield. While Gundogan's talent is undisputed, the pressure on him to adapt swiftly without Rodri's support has highlighted his difficulties in consistently impacting games. 4. City's chronic vulnerability in defensive transitions. Manchester City's defensive structure is designed to operate with possession, where they defend as much with the ball as without it. This system works excellently when City can control the tempo and position of the game, but it reveals vulnerabilities when opponents counter-attack. Teams like Sporting, Inter Milan, and Manchester United have all exploited this weakness. When City commits most of its players forward, any loss of possession can result in swift counter-attacks, leaving their defense exposed. This Achilles heel has persisted across Guardiola's tenure at City, as they consistently struggle to deal with teams that excel in quick transitions. It's a delicate balance. The very possession-based approach that makes City so formidable also makes them susceptible to well-organized counter-attacks. Spotlight on Phil Foden and the lack of creativity. Phil Foden, Manchester City's standout performer in last season's Premier League, has been another missing link. After starting the year sidelined due to medical issues, Foden has struggled to regain his top form and rhythm. Though he's managed a few goals in the Champions League, he remains far from his peak. His absence has been noticeable, especially with Kevin De Bruyne also struggling with fitness. Foden's creativity, technical ability, and knack for scoring in key moments have been sorely missed. Setting the record straight, is Manchester City really in crisis? As we wrap up our analysis, it's essential to look at the numbers and historical context. Currently, Manchester City holds 23 points, with 21 goals scored and 11 goals conceded after 10 Premier League games. For perspective, last season, they had 24 points at the same stage with 23 goals scored and only 8 conceded. While the numbers may seem slightly off, City's overall performance is not drastically different from previous campaigns that ended in Premier League titles. In fact, they've had slower starts in other seasons and still managed to win the league. It's worth noting that early season statistics aren't always a perfect predictor, as fixture difficulty and opponent strength can vary year to year. With all of this considered, is Manchester City truly in crisis? Not quite. While these recent setbacks have highlighted areas for improvement, it would be premature to claim that the team is in a full-blown crisis. The team is still within striking distance of the Premier League leaders, and a few tactical adjustments, paired with players returning from injury, could easily put them back on track. Guardiola's team has faced similar obstacles before, and the man himself has a reputation for rallying his squad during challenging periods. Addressing expectations and excellence. However, when it comes to a club like Manchester City, the bar is exceptionally high. The consistency in their excellence makes any deviation seem like a potential crisis. It's akin to judging a prolific goalscorer for scoring only 20 goals in a season. For most players, that's an achievement. For an elite player, it's below expectations. This is the case for Manchester City and Guardiola's track record. Yes, recent results may raise questions, but fans and analysts should consider the larger context before jumping to conclusions. Final thoughts. So, is it time to sound the alarms for Manchester City? Perhaps, in the context of their own high standards, there's reason to call this a mini-crisis. But looking at the broader picture, Guardiola and his squad have the resilience, quality, and tactical acumen needed to overcome this rough patch. They'll likely view the upcoming break as an opportunity to regroup, recover key players, and return with renewed focus. The road to reclaiming the Premier League title and advancing in the Champions League may be challenging, but with Guardiola at the helm, City fans can trust that the team will address these weaknesses and strive to return to form. Let's keep the faith, and as always, leave your thoughts in the comments. Do you see these issues as temporary setbacks, or are they signs of a more significant problem for Manchester City? And finally, don't forget to use the promo link in the description for great discounts from our sponsor, Insider, who's always there with high-quality products to keep you looking sharp on and off the pitch.